LA Comic Con, another dose of convention tea. This is your afternoon tea for Friday, December 17th. And yeah, LA Comic Con. We weren't expecting to attend LA Comic Con.
Yeah, this was kind of a last minute thing built around the fact that they were going to have people from Cobra Kai, specifically our lead, and
Yeah, William Zabka and the guy Martin Cove.
Martin Cove. Thank you. My brain went blank there.
All right, just kind of like just get a few things out of the way. Remember, if you need like last minute gifts for the holidays, Magic Candle Company has got you covered. Save 15% or more when you use our code EAT15 at checkout, link in bio. And you can also use my code YEMAC-Dame Asbel to get 40% off your order at yemacsweater.com. Yemac Sweaters located in Southern California. They ship locally for our Southern California viewers. So yeah, get a cozy cardigan for yourself. Who we are, Scarlet Rhapsody. We've been doing this since the early 2000s. I'm Scarlet. This is Jay. We've done conventions from coast to coast. I started this whole operation in my dorm in the early 2000s because I just like talking about conventions and my experience. And this whole show is just kind of like, yeah, let's just talk about our experience at LA Comic Con. All right, LA Comic Con. All right. They came out with their final number of attendees, 94,000.
Not even close.
I don't think so either. It didn't feel like 94,000. Now, you and I, we've been to Anime Expo at the LA Convention Center. Mm-hmm. I've been going to AX since they first started at the LA Convention Center with like around 30,000 attendees in 2008. It felt more like that. I didn't really think this was 94,000. It just feels a little bit inflated.
I was just thinking that if this is based around how many people went each day and then adding all 3 days up, that could end up being 90,000.
Yeah,
it's probably like 20 and then like maybe 40 on Saturday and then maybe like another 30 on Sunday. Would probably sound about right to me.
Yeah, it feels really inflated. Like even though they use both West and South Hall, West Hall seemed pretty light.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone to West Hall like during AX, and even then they weren't using the entirety of West Hall. And we've been to where West Hall just kind of felt like you're sardined in. And also South Hall, like, yeah, granted that was much more crowded. The aisleways were a lot thinner than like Comic-Con. Like, oh yeah, I was just kind of like, hey, sorry, I might be touching you, but I don't mean it because we're so sardine in.
Yeah, they definitely squeezed a lot of stuff into that room.
Yeah, it just didn't really feel like 94,000. I just really think this, like, okay, this is probably just the numbers of attendees just added up day by day, or people coming in and out at the convention center and whatnot. And for the most part, we just stayed indoors the whole time because we really didn't want to deal with like, okay, go back outside, have your Vax card ready to go. I'm like, yeah, I'll just stay inside.
Yeah, it was one of those things where with San Diego Comic-Con, you could get a wristband thing. You could just go in and out. Then you wouldn't have to worry about checking your card again. With this, every in and out is going to require you flipping your vaccination card. It's just a hassle.
Mm-hmm. However, when we went in like early in the morning, because we actually did Uber in on day 2. We actually went on day 2. It was really no hassle just getting in, but just kind of the thought of like, oh, we're going to be checked every time we go in. We're not sure what that's going to look like because you don't know if people are leaving for lunch, because like we've had like that. We've seen issues like that where like the whole in and out kind of logistical nightmare, Rhode Island Comic Con being one of them. Mm-hmm. So it's just like one of those things, just instinctively like, let's just say just indoors the whole time, just cover the ground cover to cover. So yeah, like we said before, like we did this at the last minute. We didn't know if we were going to get approved as press at the last minute. It was actually your idea, and we didn't know that Cobra Kai was doing a panel until like the week of LA Comic Con, because we weren't intending on doing this. Like, you know, we've done San Diego Comic Con. Let's just rest up for a weekend. But like Cobra Kai, this is a thing we like.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the few things in geek media that we are totally hyped for. And we actually are going to be attending a virtual exclusive screening of episode 1 of season 4, which makes up for what's about to happen when we tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, and then like, I don't know if we can do this at the last minute. And you made the suggestion of,
let's just try, and if we get in, cool, and if we don't, well, we're exactly where we were. So
And we got in. We found out on Thursday that our wait list for press was approved. And I'm like, okay, looks like we're covering LA Comic Con.
And yeah, it was really that close to the opening of the event. So it was at a point where I think it was on Thursday. We're like, I guess we're not going. That's okay.
Yeah, it's no worries. It's all good.
And to be told, oh, by the way, you're going. I'm like, oh, cool. I haven't prepared anything.
Yeah, I also decided to I'll just challenge myself and just make Wanda from WandaVision like the night before. So I literally made my Wanda cosplay on day one from home. Luckily, the Joann's locally had fabric that I could pick up after work. And 1950s dresses are like a cakewalk for me, so I can literally just make these in one night, no problem. All right, to Los Angeles. Yay. Mm-hmm. So we Ubered on day 2. We only did day 2 and day 3 because we got work, and Friday dealing with LA, it's like, and plus Friday is relatively light, and Friday usually doesn't start till 4 o'clock, so that's not really. So just day 2, we decided just Uber in because we didn't know how busy the streets would be and how busy parking would be, because we've done LA Comic Con before and parking fills up just like that. Yeah. And we just didn't want to deal with the anxiety of dealing with downtown Los Angeles. Okay, just Ubering in, not too bad. And yeah, just checked in. We had, this is pretty much the length of the line getting into just through security, getting your vaccination card checked. And there was a couple of different lines, and they were relatively short. So that was good. But then again, we also went early in the day. All right, day 2. We actually did attend one panel that we really did like. It was the Women in NASA panel. And this was part of a series of panels in West Hall that were dedicated to Star Trek. And I didn't know that Nichelle Nichols spearheaded getting folks into the space program, and I was really hoping to see her there and just seeing hearing about the history of how that all started. But you know what, I can just research that on my own too. But just kind of just hearing about these women at NASA, just talking about the spacewalk and just all their journey to going to where they are today, and just the idea just never giving up. That was just really cool to just hear these stories from 4 different women coming from 4 different backgrounds.
Plus, it's nice to get panels from actual astronauts and things like that at these kinds of conventions. And you can have plenty of actors, you get plenty of writers and what have you, but to have people who've actually done that kind of stuff is a whole different kind of thing. And I always appreciate it when we get NASA people, not just this event, but other events I've been to. It's always nice to have those people and their stories.
Yeah, and thank you so much for your service. I didn't know this until the very last day, that when they mentioned you can chit chat with us in the autograph room, oh, was it the main autograph room? No, there apparently was a separate autograph room for all the Star Trek panels. So all this Star Trek programming was kind of like a convention within a convention almost.
Yeah.
All right, also on day 2, we checked out Keith Silverstein's voice acting games panel, which was a lot of fun. Jay, tell us about it.
So we essentially grabbed some people out of the audience and had them pull random cards related to a topic. So it would be something like, animal noises, or Walla for a street scene or something. And people would have to do it, and then by vote of clapping, it would slowly narrow it down until we got the monologue sequence for the finals amongst the top 3. Overall, it was interesting. The only issue I think I had is that they had this over in what was this,
West
Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And
if you notice here in the photo, it's kind of like blocked off by just a bunch of curtains, so you can kind of hear the other panel, which is how to audition as a voice actor.
Yeah, so the audition, the voice actor panel is bleeding in, and just the regular echoing of noise. I give props.
I never like this format.
I really don't like panels being set up like this, especially if they're right next to each other. If you can, because I've been to conventions that are literally one hall, one West Hall sized hall, and yeah, you're gonna have your 2 or 3 panels just kind of held together like this, and they're usually not that great. Not for fault of Keith Silverstein, not for the fault of the people he got to play the game, but more for the fault of just the acoustics and area itself. I understand the purpose of keeping all the voice actors right near their booths, and plus they had that weird other con they were
We'll talk
promoting.
about that in a few.
That's gonna be a thing. But so I understand it like from a logistics perspective. It's just from a actual, execution perspective, it doesn't really work well. So this was like the only West Hall panel we really attended.
But it was a good panel. I really like just seeing like just all the different techniques each person from the audience is bringing. Keith Silverstein, he's always a joy to see, and he's one of my favorite voice actors because he's the voice of a lot of my husbando characters. Char Aznavour in Gundam The Origin, Chong Li in Genshin Impact, and one of my favorite Sailor Moon villains, Professor Tomo, and also another one of my favorite anime villains, Johan from Monster. So this guy has an amazing resume, and he's also did ADR for the adaptation of Pretty Cure, aka Glur Force. And I remember that's how I was introduced to him on social media, because we were just going back and forth about adaptation. And the Glur Force adaptation, it's not that bad.
Well, it's a simple kids show, so aside from some name changes, there's not really a lot you could really do.
It's cute. Make your kids watch it.
It's like have dark, heavy themes of like death and morbidity. It's going to be
Heart
like
Catch.
Well, yeah, like Heart Catch does. It's all about friendship. And what was it based off? Smile, Pretty Cure, or
Yeah, Smell Pretty Cure,
Yeah.
the fairy tale one.
yeah. So it's fairy tales and cuteness.
Yeah, make your kids watch it. Get them into Pretty Cure. Get them into Magical Girls. Pretty Cure is awesome. Okay, so West Hall, it was very gaming and voice acting focused. And
Which makes sense.
Yeah, you and I were looking for the tabletop because you really liked the tabletop aspect in 2019.
Yeah,
And
good
sadly, there was no tabletop. Sad
Yeah.
face. And you had your things prepared to go and everything after your experience at Comic-Con.
Yes, I had the sheets printed up. I had them in a little folder thing, a little clear file, and they were in the pack with our other stuff. And it was just, all right, we're going to do this. We're going to go. I'm going to game. That's what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll meet some new tabletop friends that can get into my games or get into their games. No games. Oh, they had video games, sure. And that's nothing against video gaming. It's fine. I'm not a really competitive game player. I'm more of a strategy or, tactical person, And there's never going to be a Disgaea tournament. So as far as I'm concerned, there's not really a whole use for me now in the video game area.
Well, they were also promoting this very peculiar event called AVOX, which is a voice actors convention, which on paper doesn't sound too bad. I'd love to meet all my voice actors in one spot. You can get a lot of reunions going on since a lot of voice actors cross over with different things. There's a lot of voice actors I just want to meet and take selfies with. I mean, I'd love to meet the whole cast and just get a complete selfie set with the cast of Lupin the Third. Richard Epcar, shout out to you. You're a cool guy. We met him, said hi to him, just very briefly. And another one of our colleagues asked us, what are your thoughts on AVOX? And they had a very concerning look on their face. And I didn't really have much information about them. However, when I looked at their dates and when I looked at location, this looks pretty peculiar. Now, again, voice actor convention sounds good on paper.
Yeah, and truthfully, you wouldn't need much more than, say, exactly what I just said, the West Hall-sized convention scene. Area for the tables for the people, couple areas for panels to talk about whatever, and, maybe you throw in a video game area and you throw in, a small dealer hall / artist alley. You could make it work.
Same weekend as Anime Expo.
That.
And I was asking, where is this taking place? And I actually talked to the person running a booth. This information is not published anywhere as of yet, but the person at the booth said that AVOX would be taking place at the Pasadena Convention Center. So you have two competing events, and you have voice actors who are normally, you have a lot of voice actors in the LA area that are also associated with anime. So do you expect them to double dip with both, to go back and forth, or pick one or the other?
Yeah, neither answer is a good answer.
Yeah, so it's what's going on here? I wouldn't mind attending AVOX, but you're pitting it against one of the major conventions in the Southern California area, and I don't think that's a great idea.
In addition to that, because when I initially heard the same weekend, I'm like, oh, maybe it's one of those where they have the con within the con kind of things, and AVOX will be its own zone at Anime Expo. I'm like, okay, that's a good way of organizing all that. And
that would make sense.
That makes sense. And have it to be a partnership kind of thing going down. That is not the case. I don't know why they wouldn't just put it in, say, May. May
Veterans Day weekend.
15th. There you go. I've just decided the new date. It's May 15th. I don't know. It's probably got Thursday or something.
Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. You have plenty of other holidays. There's plenty of holidays in February. You could do it at February con.
President's Day weekend.
Oh, President's Day, and then go see all your favorite voice actors. It's great.
Yes, that is a big oof.
I don't know who made that decision, but that's not a good decision.
And sadly, when we found out that the Cobra Kai panel was canceled, as we were just kind of waiting for the panel on the main stage.
Mm-hmm. Because they probably said it once or twice. But you'd think when a whole bunch of people are gathered, you'd come up again and go, and by the way, if anyone here is waiting for the Cobra Kai panel, it has been canceled. We're so sorry about that. But you can hang around for our masquerade, which I know I heard them say something about masquerade when we arrived, but we missed the first part of that whole thing, and no one ever came back to re-announce, which is a huge mistake on the part of the con. They should have had someone come up, or they have the screen there.
Stage. Yeah,
have the screen to say, Cobra Kai panel canceled, sorry.
Please chill for masquerade or something.
Yeah. You have a screen that you could put a card in there that we would have noticed because it just kept repeating the same 4 cards. We'd notice a 5th one in there. Or have someone come up there every 15 minutes and just remind people. There's ways of doing this. You don't have to, tell people once, 5 minutes before the panel would start, and then never tell them again. Because I'm sure we weren't the only people there waiting, and at a certain point going okay, well, screw this. And then, we hear the masquerade start up, and, that was a thing.
Yeah, masquerade. The problem I have with this main stage, hosting masquerade and panels, is again, this is taking place in South Hall, and they put a main stage in the middle of a busy dealer's hall. Mm-hmm. People are trying to make sales. I'm trying to have conversations with people. I remember I was trying to have a conversation with my friend Tara, who works at Gear Oils, because we haven't seen each other in a while. And then, yes, I'm very happy that this panel going on in the main stage is super hype. I'm happy for y'all, but it's just really hard to have conversations with people and to just make a sale, because she had new oils out. I actually do own her. She actually did a replica of what plague doctors use, and I use that all the time. Mm-hmm. And and I wanted to just also get a few jewelries, just some necklaces. And sometimes it's just really hard to make transactions, especially if you're close in proximity to the main stage. And then someone on the main stage was I love Inosuke, and then I sarcastically said quick, name 3 of his albums. Inosuke, When I Was a Young Warthog.
And then, of course, at the end of the masquerade, there was a Warhammer person, which is probably the same Warhammer person I saw earlier in the day. And I'm well, yeah, we already know who the winner is, because every one of these masquerades has that one Warhammer person who just wins. Because you're wearing about 14 tons worth of plastic and metal and whatever the hell else you made it out of, with workable lights and a big ass sword or gun or whatever you have. So that's 99% of the time the winner. And that's what I always notice on these smaller Comic Cons. There's the one Warhammer person who just sweeps.
Yeah, and it was called the Cosplay Nationals. I'm wait, did you have to compete somewhere before you make it to nationals?
That's the other question. Yeah, because it seemed like some of the people were just regular old masquerade people. And then one person who clearly was probably
Warhammer, a wiener is you.
Yeah. And it would be kind of unfair if it's I put together this really nice I'm trying to think of a simple Wonder Woman outfit that's very authentic. It looks just like the movie version. And then someone comes clunking down in some Warhammer armor, oh, son of a bitch.
And also I felt the main stage area needed seats because
yes,
to see something in a main stage, it was standing room. I mean, yeah, there were seats if you had a VIP pass or if there was a seated section there. But I really feel if you're putting a main stage thing here and you have a lot of people coming in, please have seats.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. Day 2. Yeah, we just kind of stuck around for a little bit, just wandered around. Yeah. Popular cosplays I've seen, obviously Lady D from Resident Evil 8. Still want to play that game. I love the aesthetics. Saw a lot of Demon Slayer cosplayers of all ages, I like to emphasize. What do you say were some of the popular fandoms you've seen cosplayed?
Not as much Squid Game, I think, as versus Comic-Con, but we still saw a good amount of Squid Games there. I mean, you still see your Marvel heroes and what have you. But there was a lot of anime stuff. It's kind of a surprise. I saw some Narutos. I saw, like you said, some Demon Slayers. trying to think of some of the other things that were.
Yeah, I was repping Marvel that day. Decided, I'll just throw on Katie. More out of like, I don't know anywhere. I'll just throw on Katie. Katie's simple enough. And what did you throw on day one?
That was House Husband, wasn't it?
Yes, you went around as the house husband.
Which is just like one of my go-tos, except for my jacket is unavailable right now, so I can't put it on. I can't wear it for a while.
Overall, day two had some pretty solid programming. Walked around. South Hall was pretty vibing. A lot of cosplayers just getting their photos taken. Did a lot of shopping. We got a lot of Christmas presents from Artist Alley because again we like to emphasize yes, support
Independent
artists,
creators.
There was this one. We bought some necklaces made out of like a D20 die. So I was just very happy with what I saw at the dealer's hall, and just went on a happy shopping spree. All right, day three. We kicked the day off with we drove to the con. I was like, okay, day three is usually lighter.
Getting in was easy.
Yeah.
Getting out was hard.
So we'll get to that horror story in a little bit. But I like to emphasize first that instead of taking Uber, we decided Sunday, let's drive to the con. I got the transponder. We can take fast track. We could take the carpool lane, the highway in the sky on the 110 freeway. And it wasn't too bad getting in. We were able to park right underneath South Hall and just no hassle whatsoever. And yeah, day three, we just waltzed into the cosplay charity panel. Jared, describe.
People talking about going to hospitals, talking to kids, and a lot of those inspirational kind of stories of these kids talk about meeting Iron Man for weeks on end, or meeting Darth Vader. They showed a little video clip of some little sick kid and meeting Darth Vader and having.
I thought that was cute.
It was really sweet. I realized I could never do this. I'm obsessive compulsive, and going into hospitals nearly gives me a panic attack. So no one wants to see hyper stressed out Doctor Strange or something. Hey kids, I'm your favorite hero, Doctor Strange, and don't touch my cape, please.
Well, you did cosplay as Vision from WandaVision, 1950s version that day.
True, but Vision is no one's favorite hero ever. At least Doctor Strange probably has fans. And I don't cosplay Doctor Strange people. I'm just thinking of Marvel heroes I could cosplay as. I think I could pull off a good Doctor Strange. I'd have to grow facial hair again, but whatever. I can
need
do
a
it.
Mustache. You'll probably do that for Gomez Adams anyway.
Yeah, that's true. But if I did that, yes, it'll be mustache-themed characters if I do that. I'll have to find a Tom Selleck character or a Burt Reynolds character. So, I could go as the Bandit. No one would get it, but it'd make me happy.
Yeah, I thought this panel was really cute. I mean, we also do charity for Kids Can Cosplay. In fact, I'm going to be Snow White tomorrow at their annual toy drive. And after that, I'm driving straight to Comic-Con Revolution. So, yeah, it's always just cool kind of seeing these and just kind of hey, you can use cosplay for good. Awesome stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm also wondering, because a lot of this was very Marvel, very Star Wars focused.
But you also got to think about the demographic. If it's going to be a bunch of 11-year-olds,
Who's to say they don't know My Hero Academia?
Or Demon Slayer? Yeah, I figured there'd be some anime love in there, but there's always the bias, especially at Comic Cons for this kind of stuff. It'd be kind of cool to have a little Hashira squad or a Class 1A group show up for a bunch of kids. I think they'd probably enjoy that. I would hope so, at least.
Yeah, never underestimate the power of manga sales.
And the inspirational message of Go Beyond.
Plus Ultra. Okay. What else did we do on Sunday? Well, we went around the voice actor alley. Here again, voice actor alley. I just wanted to get something signed from Keith Silverstein because again, I don't really see him at a lot of cons, and I didn't want to regret and I could have got something signed by him. So I ended up just hey, loved you as Zhongli, love you as Char. And then you and I were cosplaying as Wanda and Vision, and then he was like, wait, is this from Gundam?
I'm like,
No. And you were wearing the Sharazaku face mask.
Yes, I was. The mask was from Gundam.
Mm-hmm. That's what's from Gundam, but cosplaying as Wanda and Vision, not so much. So I ended up getting this Zhongli print signed by him. It's official Zhongli artwork. I had a friend of mine ask me oh, where did you find that in Artist Alley? No, it's official art. So it's kind of cool to have him sign that. And unfortunately, he didn't have any Char things to sign, but we were just kind of joking if you see him next time around, get the Origin Zaku. Have him sign that.
Yeah. But I don't have the Origin Zaku books.
Yet.
Yeah. But yeah, that'd be kind of a cool thing to have, because then it is Origin-related merch specifically, which is always cool. Which is there's not a lot of, other than like the DVDs, obviously.
Yeah, another voice actor I wanted to meet, Greg, he does the voice of, dang, I forgot his name. I don't know his meme name. Michael Jackson from Demon Slayer. Kibitsuji. He also does the English dub voice of 456 in Squid Game, and he also does a voice of a very sassy cat.
The grumpy cat character.
It's a one-shot character from Way of the House Husband, but I love the performance.
Just yelling at Tatsu's kitten. I assume the cat belongs to Tatsu. He's very cat-themed.
Yeah, so I wanted to meet him, but he didn't have a booth, but he was showing up at other panels, like, so I had to go to panel see him. Like, I would have loved to met him at a booth, and maybe he would have had some 4, 5, 6 things to, like, sign and stuff, so I don't know. Or Michael Jackson, that's fine, too. It's also just kind of, like, seeing, like, just anime cosplayers at a Comic-Con, so I saw, like, a lot of My Hero Academia cosplay, which is awesome.
Well, the thing is, when you're going to have a lot of voice actors who are known for doing anime-related stuff, you're going to find characters from said animes, and, of course, video games as well, because there were some Genshin people running around, and there were multiple Genshin actors. I saw a couple Mortal Kombat people, and I wish I had Raiden, because then I would love to get a picture with
I'm waiting to make you Raiden, and I need to get on my butt and finish Classic Katana.
Because Raiden or Johnny Cage have been like two of my favorites since like the early days. I liked the ninjas. I just liked those two characters more.
And we also had to get Richard Epcar one of those rice hats, because those are like $2 at like Ranch 99.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't have one.
Because he's like, where do I get this hat? I saw the Twitter post on that, and then during the pandemic, it's like, where do I get a hat like this?
Yeah,
like,
we'll
Richard, I got you.
Yeah, we'll do it next.
Next con, I know where he's gonna be at. We'll get him a rice hat again. Yes. $2 at like a Ranch 99. Yeah. Day 3. Also, just seeing like cute kiddo cosplayers. Like you have like some kiddos cosplaying from Predator.
The horror movie group was great.
That was cute.
Jason. Was it Jason Michael Myers and Predator? Was that no?
Predator and Scream Dude.
That's right. They had Ghostface from Scream. And I was just like, little kid horror characters.
Yeah, our partner out of the East Coast, Pearl, would love this. Oh, yeah, any senator. Because, she's, just rocking. In our last video, when we were talking about Anime NYC, she's rocking this Camp Crystal Lake shirt from Hot Topic. It's awesome.
And I thought I saw Chucky running around, but I might have been wrong.
There's always a Chucky running around at these shows.
Yeah. It's easy enough to do. As long as you get the specific striped shirt and stuff, and the crazy-ass red hair, you're good.
Again, we did more shopping on Sunday, and you were looking around at Gunpla.
Yeah, they had a few things there. It was essentially like leftovers from San Diego Comic-Con, and I wasn't particularly impressed. The Gunpla shortage is real, people. Everyone I've talked to.
Yeah, we also bought these Boba-themed candles. Yeah, this is the one that's themed off a Japanese soda. And we also bought some Japanese snacks. And you had your first taste of ramen. What was that like?
It was a fruity drink. It was fine. And
you had to have your Asian friend Lucas open that bottle for you.
Well, it's not my fault the bottle doesn't come with instructions. So I take off the lid, and then there's this cork, and I'm like, what do I... So I start pushing it with my fingers. He's like, give me the cap. And I'm like, what? He's like, pulls the little thing off the cap. Like, oh, well, I didn't even know that it was even there. There you go.
Yeah, the same booth also had Demon Slayer tie-in candy. So we're actually
no chocoballs.
No chocoballs whatsoever. However, they also had the different Japanese Kit Kat bars. Those sold out.
Those are always popular. People love the weird flavors. I've had a few of them over the years.
However, I learned that there's this Mexican market close to us that actually does sell the Japanese Kit Kats. It's funny because it's the Japanese Kit Kats and the Japanese packaging, and you have this Mexican dude in a sombrero sticker on it, knowing that you bought it from.
Yeah, the price tag thing for that.
Yeah, so Sunday I was just mostly just shopping around because panels it's all right. However, is there anything else you wanted to add about the dealer's hall? Because we also got you that Gelatoni backpack.
Yeah, you found a lot of good stuff. I think I was just really tired by the time it got to day 2. I realized essentially 2 conventions in a row and just stressing myself out was just a bit too much.
And they also had that section of the star cars. So
That was cool. I did like the star cars. I mean, yeah, you're always going to have your Ecto 1 there. They had a couple of the cars designed to look like the cars from Cars, which was a thing. But they also had the Hachiroku from Initial D, which I'm like, what is that doing here? No offense about your Toyota POS, but like, it's a weird one to just see randomly there. It's like as if someone had modified a family roadster to a family truckster from National Lampoon's Vacation. I appreciate that you did that, but why is this here?
Yeah, so I really actually did appreciate, like, I always like seeing the star cars there because, like, for an extra couple of bucks, you can also take, like, photos inside the cars. I should have done that because I had, like, just some ideas, like, just for poses, because after just, like, posing with cars at like, classic car shows, like, yeah, it'd been nice, but I'm just kind of lazy right now.
I feel like most of the time it requires something that would fit your character or would
yes, fit the costume,
around.
but since I was wearing that WandaVision 1950s dress that Luigi's Francesca from Cars, that tiny little Fiat thing, that would have done well. I like the Ghostbusters car, and they also had like the Pizza Planet truck from Toy Story. So I just want you to remember this. Like, there was a star car section, and yeah, because you have to remember this for the story we're going to tell to top this off.
Yes, we've hinted at that enough.
All right, so we were just pretty much ready to go, like, at 3 o'clock.
There really wasn't a whole lot going
really
on
light.
day 3. Like, even panel-wise, it seemed pretty empty.
Nothing was really just calling to us. However, we did. I did some wandering around because, like, I just kind of have just some energy to burn right now. It's like, I just wander around, and oh wait, West Hall. If you go on the second floor of West Hall, there is an entire Star Trek con there. So it's kind of like a con within a con. And then I was just kind of like just walking around. Nichelle Nichols has her own autograph room. There's a room that has a replica of the bridge. There's another room that has a replica of the bridge. It has its own contained autograph section.
To be fair, one room has a replica of what looks to be the movie version, which was for a museum or something. And then the other one had the bridge they made for their own ship for the fan group.
As seen here, the USS Artesia.
Which is awesome. And they were like, yeah, take photos and whatever. Let's have some fun. And
they were really cool. And Star Trek Friends fans are really cool.
Every time I meet the fan group, they are always the coolest people. And I'm like, why am I not a member of, the distance between where all the chapters are. Although there is a Vegas chapter, so my brother will probably just join that.
I mean, I consider myself more of a casual Star Trek fan. I enjoy TOS, what you've shown me so far at TNG. LeVar Burton is just a huge part of my childhood, and just kind of part of a huge part of where I am career-wise. And
he's a personal hero of mine, and I like how we take two different roles of this man, and he both reached us in very different ways.
Absolutely. So it's just kind of like just has a lot of deep meaning to us, and like just kind of in different directions. Like, I don't know if this makes me a fake fan. I'm just not. Discovery doesn't really call to me. That animated series that looks like Rick and Morty, like, I've seen better space cartoons, and that's called Martin's successor, Nadesco. I'm not really.
If you didn't do that, at least go with the American answer of Futurama. Futurama did it
that's
better.
That's true.
And first. Mm-hmm. And then there's like a Nickelodeon one that I know nothing about.
Space Cases?
No, not that. I mean, like a Nickelodeon Star Trek they made that, like, I only seen part of the trailer when the kid was going like, we're going to do all the pew-pews to the aliens. And I'm like, it's not. What?
I just vibe with like the OG TOS because like it's so cheesy. I love the effects, and I just kind of like how they were working with just all this cheap stuff to just make it work. And I love that.
It is the heart that goes that
you
went
see
into
it
with the limitations.
And I just love it about that. And yeah. Also on day 3, one of the reasons why we decided to stick around was Ginger and Nichelle was having a farewell panel. Now, hindsight, I just kind of wish I researched into this earlier, because I wasn't, again, I'm more of a casual.
Here's the thing that gets, complicated.
Yeah, I'm more of a casual, and I was like, farewell tour. Like, I know she's been wheelchair bound. Like, is she,
how sick is she?
Yes. And then, like, well, I don't want to leave this con with, like, any regrets. I'd love to see her one more time, just kind of, like, just say just some final words to all of us before she has to retire. Because there was a lot of signage, a lot of artwork depicting Uhura and depicting like Ginger Nichols' farewell tour.
Nichelle Nichols.
Sorry.
Ginger Nichols is your friend.
Yeah, she was named after her.
Yeah.
My bad.
Since Ginger Nichelle. But yes.
But yeah, so we decided, like, let's just stick around. Let's just kind of like just hang in the back and just as press. Like, we got some time to kill, and like this probably would be something very.
It was
meaningful.
also 5 minutes before the panel was supposed to start, so I was like, we can go through here. This will be probably sweet, make us cry, and we'll go home like feeling fulfilled.
And then
that is not what happened.
No, we were waiting an hour. Okay, I understand. Like, it's so nice of her to just kind of like just be with her fans and just kind of like. Just sign off, take selfies and whatnot. And then the panel really didn't start until like an hour after, like around than scheduled. And there was like a lot of people just giving like all these speeches, memorials, which was fine. It was just like, yeah, like it's people looking
being at a
back.
funeral. It was kind of creepy.
Yeah, it's like, wait, is this a wake? What's going on here? So I was on my iPhone, just kind of just researching the whole thing. And it appears that Nichelle Nichols is part of conservatorship from her son. And the more I was reading about this, I was like, wait, what's going on here? This feels really weird being here. Like, is this her own decision? Is this the decision of her son to retire? Is her son collecting all the autograph money that she's getting? Like, what's going on here? Because I only know about the Britney Spears conservatorship, and because
the mess that is.
Yes, and I didn't know that Nichelle Nichols was part of a conservatorship, and I was just reading all these articles as people were making these speeches, and you made the comments like, yeah, don't be rude, don't look at your iPhone. Like, Jared, I need to like see what's going on here, and it's
you were doing the research while I was trying to listen to people, and I was just like, well, this is nice hearing the heartfelt stories. One came from like an ambassador. They had one from some. They, her son gave a long speech, which is in retrospect kind of like cringy.
Yes.
And then had videos of some of the NASA people, and some of the NASA people actually came up as well because they were there at the panel earlier saying that she was one of the motivations for doing what they did.
And then at a certain point, I was just kind of like just showing you what I was seeing. You and I decided just GTFO because there's just something that seems very sus.
Even talking about it again, I feel really sick to my stomach. And a video surfaced of one of the other guests wanting to talk to Nichelle, and her son basically like pushing him up, physically almost assaulting him.
You can find this video on YouTube. Look up. You can look up Ginger. I'm sorry. Dang it.
Nichelle Nichols.
Nichelle Nichols. Again, casual fan. Nichelle Nichols, son, fight LACC. And the video has made its rounds on socials.
Yes. And the two of them were longtime friends, and he refused to let,
It got pretty violent.
One of Nichelle's friends say hello to her, which is dark and messed up, and really does lend credence to the what exactly is happening with this conservatorship. We're worried for Nichelle.
Like, is this really a farewell thing under Nichelle Nichols' request, or is it just her son just trying to control her?
And bilk a little extra money if this is, quote, the last time, although I think she announced retirement from cons like in 2017 or 2018. So
we just thought we'd just be best, like, let's just kind of duck out here. Because we also know as people were ducking out for whatever reason, it's late on a Sunday night.
And I think a lot of people may have also had that issue with us. Where like, what we want to see is Nichelle up there going like, thank you for, so many years of people coming up to me and da-da-da-da. Let me tell you some of my favorite fan interactions. Let me tell you about some funny things from set. If this is my last con, I'm glad I got to spend it. That's what we wanted to hear. We wanted Nichelle up there talking about, I love you fans, and if this is my last con, I'm glad I got to spend it with you, kind of a speech, versus, it's nice hearing everyone talk about how she was an inspiration, and she is, but I would rather hear the woman herself talk. When she is gone, we can have all the inspiration panels you want. There's been inspiration panels for Nimoy. There's been inspiration panels. There were probably some for DeForest Kelley and James Doohan back in the day. There will be panels about her and her impact for years to come. Let's hear from the woman herself. Why am I not hearing from her? And I think a lot of people were leaving for that. And then as soon as, the news got spread around, it was like, oh, I don't feel comfortable being here.
And with that said, we just decided to just leave the convention And we left the convention at a really bad time. Because as we were trying to exit South Hall, the dealers were also trying to exit South Hall. A lot of the roads getting to the freeways, if you were trying to exit South Hall, were blocked out.
So much so that we had to pull into a different parking lot to then pull out of that parking lot to get reoriented in a direction that would allow us to leave.
I have driving anxiety, especially when it comes to downtown LA. So like, okay, as long as I can safely get onto Figueroa and make the right turn on Washington to get on the 110, all is good. And then like I was just kind of like just kind of like having my usual shakes and all right, let me just put some initial D music to just kind of calm me because Eurobeat music does that to me.
Because it makes you focus on the driving rather than what other stuff.
Yeah, it makes you like, yeah, race, let's do this, hype. And Delta Force from my Eurobeat mix came on. And as I was like going on to Pico to then make the right on Figueroa, some cars started to pull out of the LA Convention Center. It was a Pizza Planet truck. It was the tiny Fiat, Lightning McQueen, and the Ecto 1.
Yep. All the star cars left at the same time. Probably because they're all...
I had my initial D music on, and I was like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to race.
And the entire
race
thing
to the freeway.
About
so in my mind, I was racing them. So So basically, McQueen made a left turn before they can get on to Washington, and I think it was just between me and the Ecto 1, and it looks like we were going in the same direction. And by the time we got on the freeway, it's like, okay, Ecto 1, it's just you and me on the 110 South. Let's go.
Yep, we passed everyone else. It was just the two of us jamming forward and zipped right past the Ecto 1. I waved goodbye to them, which was funny.
It's like, eat lead.
Left them in the dust.
Oh, yeah, that was just
eat dust.
It's just...
Lead is bullets.
My bad. But I'm like, you know, if that whole experience just kind of just made me forget about my driving anxiety, great. It's just funny just how, like, fate works.
Plus, this will be in the going home stories for years to come.
Exactly.
I mean, how many times can you say you outpaced Lightning McQueen, Luigi's girlfriend, the Pizza Planet truck, and the Ecto 1 while trying to go home? That doesn't happen too often.
I just kind of wish the Hachiroku was there, but like, nah. Hachiroku's probably has some tofu delivery orders. Does DoorDash on the side. It's a Sunday night. So yeah, final thoughts on LA Comic Con.
It wasn't too bad. Like I said, I just wish I wasn't so tired because I felt like I really missed out on a lot of things. I mean, like, I went to Chris Gore's panel on why movies are bad, and that was a lot of fun. I wish I could have explored more of the Star Trek stuff and looked up more of the panels, though. Yeah.
In hindsight,
it's kind of one of those weird ones where I'm like, I don't know how many of these panels I really would have enjoyed because my fandom is I guess the old school fandom. I'm an old school man baby or whatever who doesn't like the new stuff because it's different and doesn't follow Gene Roddenberry's vision of a positive future with role models we can look up to.
And I'm just a casual. I just don't vibe with it. I just don't vibe.
Any idea? People, you really don't have any idea how many role models I have out of Star Trek. I have quite a few, and people who really helped me try to be a better person, because that's what Roddenberry wanted for, society, was for humanity to be better and then continue to improve even upon that. And instead, that's obviously not the direction we've taken.
But yeah, let's just continue, just finalize our LA Comic Con.
But that being said, the convention itself wasn't too bad. The dealer hall had a lot of stuff.
Dealer's hall was really strong.
Yeah, it was really strong. Artist Alley had a good mix of things. The guest list wasn't too bad. It's
just kind of wish it was Cobra Kai.
But if you had voice actors you wanted to meet from a couple different video games or animes, they had those people there too. So it had a little bit of everything for everyone. I still don't like getting to and from the LA Convention Center. It's just a pain. And beyond that, not too bad. Make sure to bring your own lunch. Just makes life easier.
Always bring your own lunch. You never know what's being served.
You may even also want to bring your own dinner or at least some snacks because you don't know. You might get, locked in some traffic or something like that.
And also take advantage of Jerky Hut because I love their jerky.
Mm-hmm.
And also take advantage of Japanese snacks because, I swear, this is, one of the few convention centers that allows the sales of food other than, what's being sold at the concession stands.
Yep.
But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. We'll just see how it goes next year. Always a fun convention. And yeah. All right. That's that for LA Comic Con. Follow us on our website. If you like what you see here, you can donate to our Ko-Fi. That'll help pay for parking and Uber rides to and from the LA Convention Center. And we'll be doing Comic-Con Revolution this weekend, so if you donate to our Ko-Fi, who knows? If you cover our parking, like, I don't know, $20, we'll give you a shout out.
Yeah.
We'll give you a shout out on the show. We'll tell you how awesome you are to our audience. So again, this is Scarlett.
And Jared.
And we will see you at the con. Thank you for tuning in, everyone.
Oh, God.